Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Coming up tonight, a new Deputy Prime Minister and State Minister of Finance announced, plus restrictions relaxed for the Christmas holiday, and a Rastafari priest is remembered. Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Jared Higgs. Topping news tonight, Minister of Public Works Desmond Bannister will serve as Deputy Prime Minister, according to Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis. Minnis made the announcement during a national address this evening where he announced Senator Kwesi Thompson will be Minister of State for Finance. He says the men will be part of an economic team whose priority will be job creation.
The Honourable Desmond Bannister, the Minister of Works, will become Deputy Prime Minister. Because of his portfolio, which includes capital works and infrastructure, and because of his experience and good counsel, he will be a part of the economic team. A part of this team will be Senator the Honourable Kwesi Thompson, who will be the Minister of State for Finance. Over the past nearly 4 years, he has been Minister of State for Grand Bahama and has promoted digital technology and training. As Minister of State for Finance, I have asked him to focus on the economic needs and recovery of Grand Bahama, Family Island development, and the ongoing digital transformation of the Bahamas and that of the government.
Minnis will also continue serving as Minister of Finance. Now, he also announced that Nathaniel Benby Jr., the first Bahamian Managing Director of RBC, and former Central Bank Governor Wendy Craig will serve as economic advisors. Government will also extend its unemployment benefits program through January 2021.
To continue to meet the needs of our citizens, the government will extend yet again the unemployment benefit assistance through January 2021. This extended unemployment benefit program, which is funded by the government but administered by NIB, has benefited 36,959 Bahamians whose employment benefits ended after the customary 13 weeks or who otherwise would not qualify for unemployment.
Dr. Minnis also announcing relaxed restrictions for the Christmas season, while acknowledging that the country's sacrifices have paid off and the country's in a better health position than it was months ago. Minnis announced that church services during the holiday period will be allowed to take place during curfew hours.
For the Christmas season, church and religious services may be held during curfew hours, that is, after 10 p.m., to accommodate midnight mass, watch night services, and other liturgical services. This applies to New Providence, Abaco, Grand Bahama, Exuma, and Eleuthera, as other islands do not currently have evening curfews.
Those restrictions will come into effect on December 24th, 2020 and last until January 3rd, 2021. In addition to relaxed rules for religious services, Minnis says social gatherings will also be allowed with limitations.
For the period of December 24th, 2020 up to and including 3rd of January 2021, social gatherings may take place with a maximum of 10 people. This provision applies for the islands of New Providence, Abaco, Exuma, and Eleuthera. For Sunday, December 13th, and Sunday, December 20th, retail operators will be able to provide services between the hours of 6 a.m. and 9 p.m.
Gym owners will be able to open their doors on Monday, and New Providence residents flying to the Family Islands will no longer have to quarantine.
Effective tomorrow, Monday, the 7th of December, all gyms may reopen. with strict adherence to the health protocols. Also effective tomorrow, Monday, December 7th, the quarantine presently in place for travelers leaving New Providence to go to the Family Islands will be lifted. Travelers from New Providence and the Grand Bahama to the rest of the Bahamas will be required to obtain the travel visa, to complete the daily health questionnaire, and take the rapid antigen test on the 5th day after their travel.
A woman was shot to her side on Barnaby Alley, Kemp Road, after dropping off a friend. Officers responded to a shot spotter alert and on their arrival received information that a woman was dropping a friend home and an unknown person discharged a weapon in her direction, hitting her on the right side while she was sitting in her vehicle. The woman was taken to hospital where her condition is currently unknown. Meanwhile, 3 Exuma fishermen were found alive and well after they failed to return from a fishing trip on December 1st. The men arrived at the Georgetown dock on Saturday, and the boat's captain explained that they had to anchor in a safe port during the passage of poor weather, and they also lost all communication. The crew is in good health, and the vessel is still seaworthy. And a New Providence man was stabbed by somebody known to him while he was in Abaco. Officers were called to the Marsh Harbor Clinic at around 1 a.m. Sunday morning, where a man was brought in suffering from multiple stab wounds about the body and hands. He is listed in serious condition and was airlifted to New Providence for medical attention. Chief Justice Brian Murray QC is encouraging the use of plea deals as a means of clearing up the court's backlog a bit more quickly. He made the comments as he provided an update on the courts to reporters via Zoom.
It must be an integral part of any modern criminal justice system.
Chief Justice Brian Murray QC says the facts make the issue clear. It wouldn't be possible to try every case where charges are filed. He says that remains true in even the largest, wealthiest jurisdictions.
And I would strongly encourage a more robust approach to plea bargaining by both the DPP's office and the defense bar, the private defense bar. Because what the empirical data shows throughout courts around the world, that no court system in the United States, in Australia, in Britain, in the largest countries in the world, no court system has the resources to bring to trial every criminal case that is filed.
Concerns over the country's backlog of cases have led some defense attorneys to argue that there needs to be a greater emphasis placed on plea bargaining. Recently, a woman who waited 11 years to be tried for murder was freed with the court's ruling that an unreasonable amount of time had passed. The family of the victim in that case were angry that nobody had been tried in 11 years. Maury admits that in the past, prosecutors and defense lawyers weren't resolving cases early.
In the Bahamas, our rate of plea bargaining was really quite low. Recently, and by recently I mean probably within the last 3 to 5 years, we have seen an increase in cases being plea bargained, and that is encouraging. But I would strongly support the judicious and careful and proper use of plea bargaining in appropriate cases in order to mitigate the backlog.
Still, though, the Chief Justice points out that the courts are not ultimately responsible for investigating and bringing cases against accused persons.
We must differentiate between the functions of the law enforcement agencies in investigating and charging persons. That has nothing to do with the courts. And then the role of the Director of Public Prosecutions, who is the prosecutorial agency in our criminal justice system. And again, that's quite separate and outside the judiciary. And then we have the third component, which is the judiciary. Once the case has been investigated, once somebody has been charged, once the DPP has commenced the prosecution, then it becomes a matter for the courts in order to deal with it.
Heading into this Christmas holiday season, Police Press Liaison Officer Audley Peters says their strategy remains the same. He gave the assurance that residents will feel their presence.
This season will be a targeted one in terms of it's the holiday season and our citizenry, their practice is shopping for this season. And we are certain that this one would be no different than any other. Our strategies would may take little tweaks and turns, but you will see the police presence in the business districts. You will see the police presence near homes.
Still, Peters is advising residents to keep their guard up.
But we encourage members of the public to be aware of their surroundings and take the necessary precautions to safeguard themselves against any incident that happened against them. We also encourage them to, if they are accosted by someone, not to respond in a manner that would cause them to receive injuries. If somebody asks you for an item, give that item away, because your life cannot be replaced. That item can be replaced.
Still to come on our news, the prison chief dismisses a family's food complaint. Plus, the agriculture building in Grand Bahama getting some much-needed renovation. Stay with us.
Ready, set, Mega Grocery Dash with Rev's Trio. Upgrade to Trio this Christmas and you can enter to win Rev's Mega Grocery Dash giveaway. 16 lucky Trio customers in Nassau and Freeport will get to dash through the aisles of Solomon's and grab all the grocery they can. Call 601-8992 now to get Trio or email trio@cablebahamas.com to upgrade and win. Terms and conditions apply. Visit rev.bs/promotions for more details. Rev, you and us together.
Welcome back. Commissioner of Corrections Charles Murphy shooting down a claim from a family who say he prevented them from getting healthy food to their loved one behind bars.
That is a rumor. There's no truth to that.
That's how Prison Commissioner Charles Murphy responded to claims from family of Andrew Davis that they weren't allowed to get him his special diet in prison. Murphy insists that the man was being fed properly.
The Bahamas government supply us with a budget to feed every inmate, no matter what their conditions might be.
Davis, who was convicted for murdering police constable Jimmy Ambrose in 1999, died in prison on October 28th. Family members say he complained of shortness of breath and had a fever before his death. In voice notes from prison the day before he died, Davis describes his condition.
Yeah, I know what's going on with me. I trembling, and I getting weak, and I getting the fever again. I know I have to go back in medical tonight. So, if you want to hear from me, I go on a medical, but serious, I can't even breathe, but.
His family spoke to our news and expressed outrage that he wasn't allowed to receive outside food due to coronavirus measures at the prison. His lawyer, in trying to address the matter, Bjorn Ferguson, confirmed the claims to our news. He called Commissioner Murphy's decision arbitrary. He says a doctor wrote a letter on Davis's behalf requesting that he receive the right food. On the other hand, Murphy says they follow the instructions of doctors at the prison.
Every inmate given their 3 meals a day. Whenever their meals are prescribed by the doctor, we follow the prescription of that meal to the T.
Meanwhile, the prison has only had 2 COVID-19 cases, but Murphy says they're not opening anytime soon. Murphy says it would be too risky to open the gates.
We are still sticking to the protocol. We're not taking any chances. One visit can turn the whole prison into chaos. We will follow the dictate of the competent authority, and then we will move by their dictate.
Renovations are underway at the agriculture building in Grand Bahama. Minister of Agriculture Michael Pintard explains the objectives of the project.
One is the overall refurbishment of the building. The second is to create a space for those persons involved in the apiary sector, which Minister Thompson would elaborate on, to create a space for the various farming cooperatives in Grand Bahama, and thirdly, to create some booths where we can complement the farmers market that already exists.
Cabinet Minister Kwesi Thompson says they were able to put a group together to learn beekeeping. Unfortunately, Hurricane Dorian destroyed their place of business and their products.
We made a commitment to them that we would find a location for them to call home and that they can fully operate, but not just fully operate, but that they could also sell their wares, they could display their wares, and they could find a place where people can come and do business with them. They can come and purchase their items. And so this has come sort of to a complete cycle.
MP for Central Grand Bahama, Iram Lewis, says the new infrastructure will empower local businesses.
This is an extension of the existing farmers market. We are creating opportunities for local Bahamians. Bahamian products will be sold here, and then this model will now be shifted down to Fishing Hole Causeway, which will further empower persons in the western sector.
The Grand Bahama Beekeepers Cooperative expressed gratitude.
We at the Grand Bahama Beekeepers Cooperative count this as a very special day. As the ministers intimated, they sat with us and they told us about the vision that they had, and we shared our vision with them. And this is another step in making that vision a reality. We've seen it come from, as the minister said, totally destroyed inside. We lost so much in products, in time, etc. But the ministers kept their belief in us and in their projects and built this together. And we are so grateful.
When our news comes back from the brink, a Rastafari priest is remembered.
Ready, set, Mega Grocery Dash with Rev's Trio. Upgrade to Trio this Christmas and you can enter to win Rev's Mega Grocery Dash giveaway. 16 lucky Trio customers in Nassau and Freeport will get to dash through the Isles of Solomon and grab all the grocery they can. Call 601-8992 now to get Trio or email trio@cablebahamas.com to upgrade and win. Terms and conditions apply. Visit rev.bs/promotions for more details. Rev, you and us together.
Members of the Rastafari community are mourning the death of priest Philip Blyden, who died last week at the age of 62.
On behalf of the Rastafari community, for most of Rastafari, priest Blyden was an extraordinary brethren and a people person. He was a man of big affair, and he passed. And the community is really mourning the death and the pass of our brethren. And we ask that the people could rally around and come together in honor of our brethren, priest Blyden, and recognize the extraordinary works that he did for the community and for the Bahamas at large.
Blyden was chairman of the House of Rastafari and also was a teacher at a Keprin International Academy. Many young Rastafari credit Blyden with guiding them in their early years following the faith.
This is our Miles Monroe. He's known worldwide, Africa, Europe. I get, because I'm the co-chair of, and he's the president of the House of Rastafari, me being his vice president, I get a lot of calls right now, international calls from all over the world. And at home, most people are never respected. But if you see the reach that this man had around the world, it's tremendous, So this is not just a great loss to the Rastafarian community, which we really feeling, but it's also a loss to the Bahamas and actually to the Pan-African movement all around the world, which he was very instrumental in moving in.
An aspiring Olympian is hoping to make his dreams a reality. That's coming up when our news returns.
set, mega grocery dash with Rev's Trio. Upgrade to Trio this Christmas and you can enter to win Rev's Mega Grocery Dash giveaway. 16 lucky Trio customers in Nassau and Freeport will get to dash through the aisles of Solomon's and grab all the grocery they can. Call 601-8992 now to get Trio or email trio@cablebahamas.com to upgrade and win. Terms and conditions apply. Visit rev.bs/promotions for more details. Rev, you and us together.
Welcome back. An Olympic hopeful is trying to make his dreams a reality. Marcellus Hall tells us more.
"15-year-old Samuel Albury has big dreams. Dreams he's well on his way to seeing come through. Albury, whose goal is to represent the Bahamas in archery at the Olympics, has continued to work hard through the ongoing pandemic, determined not to let anything get in his way. Now, Albury already with some lofty accomplishments under his belt. With the 2021 Olympic Games just around the corner, young Albury talked about his next steps towards that stage.
Thank you for joining us for our news tonight. To catch our news on the go, download the Rev Go Play app. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Jared Higgs. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.